I want to talk about Elon Musk, though. Let's go. Let's jump over to this article from the Post Millennial. Twitter employees triggered by Elon Musk buying ownership stake in platform. Elon Musk is now one of the largest shareholders, this we know. And we have a collection of tweets from employees.
This is Andy. Andy No did all of this reporting.
Cassie Nick Rumbaugh, a data scientist, is among the employees and contractors very upset, saying a prominent transphobe buying a large stake in Twitter is not at all funny.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's very funny.
I think it's hysterical. Big laughs.
I'm honestly kind of terrified right now. You see, the reason why I don't respect you, Cassie, because you literally have nothing to fear. Because Elon Musk isn't going to do anything to you. I mean, we're sitting here being like, I doubt Elon will actually even get anything done. And you're like, I'm terrified. Of what? Of some guy who lives far away from you, you've never met before, who's going to do nothing? If these, you know what I'd be more worried about? I'm more worried about a wasp coming through the window.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those wasps, they climb through the edge of the window.
Those are scary.
Those white Anglo-Saxon
right
Protestants breaking in.
Yeah, I
here
know.
all the time.
That's right.
They got the gin,
Exactly.
they're just getting drunk over there.
Here we go.
Saying
Here's
weird
one.
things.
We've got Gerard Taylor says, my current sentiment, stock is up, yay, but what about our company culture?
Pronouns.
It's one guy.
They all have the pronouns.
Maybe he's on the board of directors. Once a year, he'll come in and vote on stuff. And the day-to-day operations will be run by other people. He's going to be one guy voting on the board. He's not going to be able to do anything dramatic. He's going to go to the other investment companies and say, look, if you want this to make more money and you want to fix the platform, you've got to give a little bit back. You're not going to see Trump. You're not going to see Alex Jones. They're going to keep their misgendering policies, but they're going to do little things here and there, little tidbits, like the Babylon Bee will get reinstated. And conservatives will be like, yay. And then Elon will be like, see, look, now people are building confidence in the platform coming back. You had Truth Social, you had Getter, you have Gab, you have all these platforms trying to compete Parler. You need to stop that. Elon's going to be like, here's how you do it. And very little will change, in my opinion.
I hate that those are all copycats too, though. Like, I hate that the so-called conservatives never have new ideas. It's not a fresh type of social media. It's literally, here, let me copy and paste Twitter and then have our own version of what we're going to censor. And then, hope that we're successful. Literally just steal Twitter's idea.
And also not offer anything on our platform that would get regular people to want to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no appeal to these websites other than this is where conservatives can go. And what's the point if we're only talking to ourselves?
It's like there's a big stadium.
That's really the interesting thing, too, is why would you migrate over to these other platforms? The thing with Facebook, I keep wanting to get rid of Facebook, but my whole family chat is on Facebook. And so it's like, if I want to know when the reunion is, I have to stay on Facebook and find out. But I do think that it's key to have something new, like you guys are talking about. If you're going to invent something new in an existing space, you have to have a reason for it. And none of these reasons, these are like ideological reasons, but they're not operational or aesthetic reasons.
Yeah. Well, it's hilarious because oftentimes conservatives will look at something that the left has completely dominated and they'll go, oh man, the left created this new thing that they then ended up exerting disproportionate control on. How can we do that? I'll tell you, by inventing a new thing, you then exert a disproportionate amount of control on it. And that control can be in favor of free speech rather than banning left-wing people. But they completely miss the point because, as you said, what we need is innovation.
Yeah, and I think also Zuckerberg and Dorsey probably didn't start off as leftists. I mean, the default as they were coming up and doing whatever they were doing and going to school, the default was leftism. So that was their moral
Zuckerberg used to talk about freedom.
Why does anybody want to be on Twitter? Why does anybody want to be on Twitter? For what reason do you want to be on Twitter?
To hurt other people's feelings or maybe have your feelings hurt.
For
news and memes?
Yes.
The only reason conservatives want to be on the platform is because Twitter is the space where prominent politicians, personalities, journalists are sharing ideas. It's where a lot of ideas originate. The problem is the left has no interest in conservatives or libertarians or post-liberals for that matter. So there's literally nothing you gain from being on the platform other than talking to people who already agree with you. The left can go on Twitter and say something. Conservatives will see it. Liberals will see it. Conservatives go on the platform and say something. Liberals never see it.
That is kind of interesting, isn't it?
So there's literally no benefit to anyone associated with libertarianism, civil libertarianism, like true like liberalism, not the woke garbage. There's no reason to be on the platform. There's going to be some high-profile journalist who's going to be like, I need to go on TV and cry because people were mean to me. And it's like, that's funny because like the New York Times,
high-profile journalist was that?
the New York Times and MSNBC don't
That's
talk
Jack
to
Hingham.
us about the fact that we've been swatted 7 times or had the bomb squad called to our house. Me tweeting that does nothing to affect the corporate garbage world that I no longer care about.
You don't think you have a lot of liberals following you?
I do.
Yeah.
But like my point is, conservatives, libertarians, moderates have no influence with the establishment, and they're not going to on any of these platforms. So why care about being there? If you can't get your followers on other platforms, well, then you've got a cultural problem.
Well, then you'll be in an echo chamber, though, because if you go on Gab, you're really
Twitter
only
is already an echo chamber. That's my point.
I think you get more. You have like a bigger spectrum than you would on Gab, though. I wouldn't know because I've only been on Gab for a couple of weeks. But what I saw there wasn't, as politically diverse, or there's more to Twitter too than just politics. And on Gab and these other social media platforms, it feels like it's solely focused on conservative politics, and then it's the most extreme of them too. I feel like it's the same thing that happens once you like redline not redline, where you gerrymander a district and you make them more red and deeper blue. Then you're just going to get more extreme candidates who are willing to pander harder.
But this is part of a larger problem, which is that conservatives only have politics, right? Politics is the only sphere of our culture in which conservatives have any stake or any ability to affect any change. Conservatives don't have a stake in, publishing or the arts or anywhere else. And so that's the bigger issue.
That is changing.
I'm working on it.
It is changing. And, that's interesting. And conservative counterculture in the arts, I think, is a movement that's about, that should be about aesthetics. It should be about interesting work. It shouldn't be ideological.
Yeah.
And the work that currently exists on the left side of the spectrum is entirely ideological, and it's ideological at this point by design. So what we need to do is work, to like have good content, which I think, you guys are both doing, that is not political and that has
and the left is
more
losing
bearing on culture.
their arts.
Yeah.
The left is producing more and more ideological garbage that people
It's
don't want to
because
watch.
it's shitty and nobody wants to watch it.
Exactly.
Well, there's 2 big things happening with liberal arts. I mean, a literal sense, not the college sense.
That too, though.
And it's that one, there's a severe lack of talent, probably due to the fact that meritocracy is out the window for these people. So when you are hiring people for like the sake of your ideological points, you're going to get someone who's never done the job before, who has no talent doing it, but that doesn't matter because everyone should have an equal, it should be equity. So everyone should just do this job. It's very obvious when these people have this ideology where it's like, take the tools from the farmer and give it to the farmhands. Oh no, they don't know how to farm, and then everyone starves to death. That same principle applies to every other industry. Mm-hmm. But the other issue is just that when you've got a lack of talent, but also a desire to inject ideology, which doesn't work.
No,
in these
it
shows.
makes bad art. It makes very poor work. A great example is, the kind of garbage I watch. So,
I thought you were about to say Freedom Tunes. I was like, why you got to come at me that way? She's looking right at me. She's like, I have a really good example right in front of me.
Except for the Fauci episodes. Those are
I don't need to hear it.
If you look at the Star Trek stuff, it used to be good. And now I haven't watched a lot of the new Star Trek, but I do watch
it's awful.
Red Letter Media talking about it. And then I sort of like dip in a little bit.
Do you know what the news...
It's a disaster, and it's all ideological. And it's like there's this affirmative action hire on the new Picard. And she's terrible.
What do you mean?
Raffi is this one character.
But how is that? I don't know.
So
how's
she's
that,
very stupid, and it's sort of impossible to believe that she could have gotten into Starfleet.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just, that's like a plot choice about a character. So
but it's poorly done.
You could make
very poorly done.
Sure. The bigger issue I have is Picard is one of the first, I believe, the first follow up to the '90s series, which ended with Deep Space Nine, and since then, all they've been doing is prequels. Why? Because we are culturally stagnant.
Yes.
So
thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.